ether yet.
Oh, I should open the page.
I feel like we might be somewhere in the tubes. Oh! We're in the tubes. Ladies and gentlemen, me and this strange person beside me, I don't know who this is. I'm waiting for Brooke to show up. But this guy... What? Oh! Oh,
it's me, Johnny! It's me!
It's oh my god, we've got proof! It's Brooke, ladies and gentlemen! Yeah! Brooke Mockert, I love that you're wearing a nice shirt and a tie and a D&D shirt on underneath it. That is amazing. Oh,
well, just plausible deniability. That's what
yep, for sure. Oh, is
wrong music, wrong show, Brooke. Stop.
Was today the first day of school for somebody?
It was
the
first day back for my school district. I think some other school districts too, but first day back. My kiddos and other members of my family, they went back to school yesterday, so it was day 2 for them. But and it was a good day. You know, of course, money is good. It's the end of my unpaid leave, so
right.
You know, yay! In a month I'll have money again, and that's fantastic. So, but yay, teaching!
Hurrah! Fantastic.
I have this is tangent time for just a second.
Go.
I have mythology class back on my schedule again this year, and so I'm super stoked about that because it's so much fun and you know it's just so much fun to get to talk about so much. I kind of like get to slip in hidden nerd things when we do mythology, and as you may know, another member of our podcast is also deep in as a mythology teacher.
I've heard of this person.
I know.
Yes, so, America's favorite mythology teacher.
America's favorite mythology teacher.
You're getting. She's in chat. She's in the chat right now. She just gets America's favorite everything pasted onto anything she does.
And none of them are inaccurate. All of those seem to be true. So
right,
man. Hey, I don't know if you've got this again because who paid attention to the show notes? Not this guy. Sorry, but our America's favorite halfling, America's favorite mythology teacher, America's favorite T-shirt designer for Red Dirt D&D.
We can't make a reveal yet.
No, but there is some cool
that's pretty awesome
stuff coming to Uncanny Expo. Those she did a thing and they're like amazing.
Yep. Yeah, for those of you in the Oklahoma Persuasion of the Kyle Band Frontier Persuasion, come check us out, Uncanny Expo. And I just know it by like marked on the calendar as far as like this many weeks away. What are the actual dates on this guy?
It's the 28th. I'm almost positive it's the 28th.
Has to be. Yep.
Saturday, and I don't know. It's basically like all day. I just know it's basically like all day. It's going to be awesome and fun, and Red Dirt D&D is going to be there. They have some special guests. One that I'm super excited about is
I know.
For those of you guys who don't speak Sandman Raiders,
Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, you know, Tusken Raiders. So it's a really big deal. Like it's super cool. So
fantastic.
August 28th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. America's favorite scheduler knows where we are.
you know, and so Poppy here, Ginger Halfling here. I'm always weird about using names on the internet.
I know.
It's amazing that we should listen when Mike talks. I always have to go back and listen. I don't know if you're talking about the A&M talk Ravenloft stuff. I'm always sitting here gaming on a Tuesday night, and I get the notification for it, and I'm like, oh, I need to go back and just binge those on YouTube. I've had a couple of friends that have popped up in the chats on Tuesday nights with both of them, and said that it was good stuff. So,
yeah, that's awesome. She invited me to be mythology buddies. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's fantastic.
Can't beat that.
So I have to do mine in like a semester. So I have to really crank and go hard as far as like what we cover and things, but it will be most awesome. I heard that screenshot, young man.
I know. I'm sending this out. I'm interneting. I'm gonna mute my phone now. I'm doing promotions. Kinder Thulu is here. The party can start. Welcome, Kinder Thulu.
Yeehaw! That sounds like one of the scariest combinations I've ever heard.
Kinder Thulu?
Kinder Thulu.
He's frightening.
So many tentacles, no pocket is safe. No pocket universe is safe when you have Kinder Thulu.
He's frightening, but cuddly. I don't know if I'd say innocent. Plausible deniability is the perfect spot for a Kinder, right? Plausible deniability.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Indeed. I like it.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to give any teasers about, because I took us off on a tangent with all the things that I don't know that I know. Any teasers for topics tonight?
No. No.
All right.
Brooke, I got a teaser for a topic.
What is it?
You're a high school teacher, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a limb here and assume you went to college.
Indeed.
Was it like, so, and this is not shaming anybody because everything isn't Hollywood and TV shows. Was it like you did it at home while working 2 jobs from the couch on a busted laptop, or did you like have the campus life?
Oh, so now
because in TVs and movies, everyone's got that glorious campus life.
No, now you're getting a sneak peek at the Brooke Bullock story.
Okay.
Because no campus life whatsoever, because I went to school uphill in the snow both ways with only a warm potato that I ate cold at lunch to keep me, alive.
That's a new one. I can't remember that one. Okay.
Barefoot, yes. Kinder Thulu knows barefoot in the snow.
Yeah.
But so basically, I would get up and go to the god awful morning classes and go to class until about noonish or 2, something like that. Then go to Walmart and work from like 3 to 11 at Walmart, and then come home and do my homework. For that type of thing. And there's life choices and reasons in there that on another issue, another podcast, another episode we can talk about. But no, I had very little campus life. It really was the pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of story. So
all right, well, among some of the other topics we're going to talk about tonight, like the possible future of D&D and different play experiences and such. One thing is they have a new set coming up where so we've talked several episodes recently about how Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering are doing crossovers. So a book release that's coming up is Strixhaven, which is a Magic the Gathering world. This time it's going from Magic to D&D. So Magic the Gathering world is going to leak into the D&D world. They're putting out a campaign setting book for a little adventure book. And the premise behind it in Magic the Gathering is sort of like a Harry Potter-ish. There are multiple schools. And so whereas in Harry Potter it's a school of magic, and you go to this class for this subject and that class for that subject, so on and so forth. In Strixhaven it's multiple schools. So it's interesting because in the book it talks about things like reliving college life and school life, like the pressures of going to prom, making frenemies, and like, and then the sequel to it is probably you've graduated but the housing market is destroyed, and dwarfs aren't getting a fair cut on real estate or something. It's just really interesting.
What you're saying is they need a kobold.
A kobold uprising.
A kobold uprising.
A kobold revolt. We need to unionize the kobolds. Yes.
That's what the kobold unionizing. That's the word I was looking for. If you have no idea what we're talking about, you need to listen to the April Fool's episode of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it's interesting. Of course, it's going to be like a lot more with the adventure and everything than that. But all the articles and everything and all the talks they've been doing on it have really highlighted that college life feel and being part of like Glee Club and the athletic boosters and pep assemblies and all these various things. They're going to have skill tables to roll. Really, really interesting perspective there on making you making you feel like that you're in a school with your D&D character. Cool. But wow, man, I tell you what, I might not want to play that because I don't know if I want to relive some of those school memories. First of all, every teacher, vice principal, and principal knew my name.
That's either really
the first week
or
of school.
really bad, Johnny Payne.
And sometimes it was both. Yeah. Imagine if Ferris Bueller wasn't as good at what he did, but he just kept doing it anyway.
I'm sensing some inspiration for a lot of your rogue characters.
A lot of my rogue characters. The one I've played.
The one. Which is also a tangent of something I think is amazing, that Zonimus is... I had that name confusion thing for a moment happen just then. But that Zonimus is like the one. Anyway.
Yeah.
On another topic, how much I love Zonimus. He's fantastic.
Oh, get out of here.
It's awesome.
You're making me blush.
So Strixhaven's going to have School of Mages. It's kind of a weird thing in the universe because Paizo did their... Paizo's next adventure path also involved a magic school. Yeah,
it ties into their release of the Mwanga Expanse book.
Exactly.
And one of the most... Is it like the most powerful or the oldest or the greatest or something? Magic school on Galarian is in the Mwanga Expanse.
Yeah.
And
which has been hinted at before.
Yeah.
And people have been like, what is that? Old man Jatembe and being almost like a founder of magic on Earth as a human. There's a lot of people have kind of been like, what is that? Give us more. And so go ahead. Yeah, now they're releasing that.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. And again, I know we've talked about this on the episode before, but at PaizoCon Online, Eric Mono at the very end of talking about it was like, oh, by the way, in book 6, you blast off into outer space and have an adventure up there. It's just moved on. I can't wait for that. But my prediction for the way this whole school thing is going to work, especially with the way that Wizards seems to be marketing it, is in using Pathfinder as an example. In the first AP they put out for Pathfinder 2, there are times where actually you go to the Mwanga Expanse and you meet the Yukijay tribe. And there is a moment where you have to get in with them for them to trust you and give you a certain level of information. If you fail, they'll give you some info. But the way you get in good with them is, of course, you go hunt and save the day and kill their local bad threat or whatever. But then also they come up with a dance challenge where the youth of the tribe come running up and they tied their ankle to mine and they had like bells on the ankles and we had to like kick each other and trip them without falling ourselves while we were dancing. And so it was a whole bunch of like performance roles and athletic checks and aerobics, not aerobic,
acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yeah. Checks.
You could use aerobics. It might help you with all those things.
And so it was really neat that...
Sorry, I suddenly had like a... This is going to date me. I suddenly had like Simmons. Oh my gosh, like the little short guy.
Richard Simmons in the Mwanga Expanse.
I always had Richard Simmons. They're like, that would be what it would be like if people from Alveston went to Garoon. So.
Right. Well,
full nerd right now, boys and girls.
That's full aged nerd, full bodied nerd. So so you had to like beat that challenge, and then you had to like do a cooking thing, and that got you in with them. But then that was done, and you didn't do it again. And then 2 books later, there was one where you had to give a really good reason. You had to find you're looking at like a board of leaders for a certain town. And you had to approach not each one of them, you had to pick the one that you wanted to approach and try to convince them that they should listen to you. So, of course, the fighter wouldn't go to the artisan. and talk to them, because then what are you going to roll to make that happen? But it was just little series of rolls. So that's one thing what happened with Strixhaven, because he keep talking about like the frenemies and the pressures of like passing or failing tests or things like that. And I'm like, this is just got to be like a couple of skill challenges that are going to come up, and it's not going to be the whole theme of it, but they're just really pushing that as the marketing thing, which I thought it was funny. Yes, I am Kinder's. Kinder and I mentor each other, and it's not. I agree. It's not.
He never got in trouble.
That's for the. That's for the Red Dirt After Hours episode. So Hal's in the chat.
What's up, Hal 22?
We're looking for more of a Hogwarts personality. So if you look here on the screen, this is kind of representing the schools.
Man, can I say you have upgraded your graphics game, and I'm digging it. Like that week off was awesome.
Oh yeah, I've done a few things. I'm upgrading my like visual skills and downgrading my research because I don't remember what the heck these schools are called, but I've got names for them. So it's the debate club versus the math wizards, the art club, and the rock jocks. And then the swamp punks are just shaking their head at everybody. Because it's a school environment. You gotta click off. It's clicky.
That's right.
You got
instead of the Breakfast Club, it's the Arcanist Club. I love it. It's got a good vibe.
Somewhere in the behind the gym, you've got a shop, and John Travolta's in there making a car.
A catfoot wagon.
Yes. So that's Strixhaven that's coming up. It's going to be fun to see. I wonder if so the D&D Adventure League, it's kind of up in the air, down in the air now. I don't know if Ash has talked about it on their show with Michael. It'd be interesting to have Ash on and discuss some DDAL League stuff. Because, COVID shut the stores down, and then some people were doing it online, and some people weren't, and then they kept changing the rules, and money is meaningless, gold is meaningless, and it becomes so kind of interesting. So this would be a great time for them to, like, while it's kind of like meh right now, to rebuild it and revitalize it and bring it back to life. But it's always stuck to the theme of like a big book that comes out. And I think it'd be really cool to like sprinkle in some Strixhaven, some school type stuff, some, wicked university stuff would be pretty cool.
That could be really cool.
My opinion, however. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
More buzz that's out there right now is it time for 6th edition?
Oh.
So two questions I got here. One is it time for 6th edition, which is going to be a whole thing itself? And then the second question, what do you want in 6th edition? Of course, there's things that you want to bring over from 5th, but what in 6th would you want? An elephant member has to memorize a spell. Yeah, that is awesome. An elephant wizard. Do they have to rememorize their spell every time? No.
An elephant never forgets. So
yeah.
I guess kind of like maybe like we'll have to put in some 1st edition rules, like they can only be sorcerers. They just can't achieve wizardry.
Right.
It burns. Because it just the magic burns a hole in their brain, and then so that's why any elephant wizard doesn't make it.
I've got to switch my streaming labs to the other monitor because I keep wanting to look over here to see you in real time, but my camera's over here with all the stuff on it. Is Ginger Halfling here saying no to 5e? Yeah, here's the thing: the purpose of 5e.
No. So,
purpose of 5e is a focus on characters and ease of playability. What would 6e bring to the table? I agree with you very much, and there's a lost video out there of Perkins saying that a lot of people, girls don't play, you got to be super nerd to play D&D and stuff. And he was like, well, I don't know if he talked to people or something. There's something that he said where he was like, it's it's frightening because everyone's like, oh, it's full of math. It's tons of like math, and you're just crunching numbers all night. And he's like, let's make this like really user friendly. And that's what fifth edition was a very you can pick up fifth edition in a day. You can pick up fifth edition on accident. And then there's so much stuff that has been put out around fifth edition.
Right.
Like there's a game that I'm interested in lately that I didn't realize it is built on fifth edition, like backbone basically. And it's just not D&D. It's reskinned to be a sci-fi game. But it's basically if you know 5e, you know this game. And learn by watching actual play. A lot of people did. So the reason I ask is it time yet is the bloat. And Brooke, you can vouch for this. Pathfinder 1 greatly suffered bloat. Some say it was good. It took them like 10 years to get there.
That's true.
But if you only looked at the first 2 years of Pathfinder and then like left the planet and then came back during the last 2 years, they say you wouldn't recognize the game.
There was the thing that I think they did really, really well, there are a couple things they did really, really well, but the one I'll mention about is that Paizo and Pathfinder, they went full bore into world creation. And for me, as an old school first edition guy, I absolutely loved that kind of Greyhawk, O-Earth, this is a real place, a living world, combined with all the newfangled bells and whistles and character choices and all that stuff. So although I didn't buy everything by any means that they did, I ate up the world building part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that part of it. I don't know. Do you think they crossed the line that second edition D&D did, where you had the priest handbook and the wizard's handbook and the fighter's handbook and the special guide to this and that?
They did without individualizing it as much. So because second edition D&D had here's the priest handbook and then the priest compendium and then the priest spell compendium volume 1 and then volume 2 on and on and on. So what Pathfinder did was here's the martial book and then here's the martial unchained book. And then here's the martial off the. It would group together, or here's the arcane book and such, and it would just they were called splat books basically. And now if you were to audit a character in Pathfinder and say show me how you built this character, you have to pull out 16 books, just for like a level 2 or 3 character, and it just became so overwhelming that sometimes GMs doing homebrew couldn't think and plan for contingencies for all the possibilities players can bring to the table. That's why even with homebrew, a lot of people will still stick to society rules. So to keep it simple, and that's what DDAL has the rule, or they have the rule of core +1. They've changed it recently. It's like core plus a couple of others that are basically always commonly used. It's where you can get more of the races, the ancestries, and the classes and the subclasses and such. That's why a lot of people are suspect that it's time. And also they feel like there's something big coming because every time they drop something for Forgotten Realms, and this is just theory crafting, this is tinfoil hat stuff out on the inner tubes, that every time they drop something for Forgotten Realms, the reason that it's always on the Sword Coast is because they're holding back for like a new edition of D&D to put out the rest of the Forgotten Realms stuff, the stuff that we got in second, third, 3.5 edition. Because think about it, think about the past few books that have come out for Forgotten Realms has strongly been anchored in the Sword Coast. Yep. So and there's so much has changed lately too over the past 2 years that it wouldn't hurt to make a like 7th printing of the core book kind of thing. So that's also a nice time to say, let's just revamp this a little bit, like character creation, ancestries versus races. That's a whole new world, and it's a variant rule, but they can make it the core, and then using what we've known for years as the variant rule. Yeah. So it wouldn't be a terrible time to do it. But again, Ginger Halfling here asked, what would 6E bring to the table?
That's an excellent question. I've kind of been pondering that in the back of my head. I don't know. I don't know, what do you change? I mean,
Imagine 5e with more viable feats, like a Pathfinder would do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so. I think that would break. I think that might break some of the GMing and stuff with the tick. So another topic I want to talk about today, this will kind of mix into it, was, is it okay to say no in D&D? Is it okay to say no in any RPG? And you notice a lot with Dungeons and Dragons, especially like Poppy had mentioned, like Kiri mentioned, watching actual plays and stuff. So take Critical Role. Matt Mercer never says no unless there's a full blown rule being broken, but he never says no. He always says you can try.
yeah. You can
So
try.
what feats do is, feats is just something on your character sheet saying, hey, you can do this thing. You absolutely can do it. And then the absence of feats in games that are feat heavy is, the absence of that on your character sheet is, no, I can't. So can I throw a rope over that branch and swing across and grab the thing on the other side? Well, do you have acrobatic rope swinging feet? As a matter of fact, I do, because my background was a circus clown or something, so you have it. And then it also works out too, where if you don't have the feat, you can still try it, but it's a higher difficulty.
Yeah.
It's harder to pull off. I think feats would really open up and expand, like, the role play of the character in combat and in action sequences.
Yeah.
What do we got here from Hal?
Oh, it's a big one. Hal is old school, like some of us in the chat, and so he says that his experience was with first edition, but after second edition was released, and he was part of a group as a newbie in which first edition was really the only one. Like, if you're going to play D&D, you're going to play first edition. So he ignored everything until an opportunity for a fifth edition group came, and he says, quote, "It feels like it really allows the players to flow with the story."
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, hopefully that'll be maintained, the customization of characters while keeping everything balanced. I think that's part of it. Like, they kind of have hit that sweet spot where it's not Mathfinder, like sometimes Pathfinder
Right.
can be,
Yeah.
criticized for,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have that nuance. So
I agree with that completely.
yeah,
It does. That's one of the unique things about D&D, and I was just talking to someone about this the other day at the local game store, was if you're looking for this type of game, go to game X. But if you're looking to get into a story and have an impact on that story, and that story have an impact on you, 5e is the direction that you want to go. And the alternative to that, I won't hide or be secret or anything. I'll say it. The alternative to that was hardcore tactical combat.
gotcha.
And there's other games out there for that, and it's not the life or death, you could die every combat kind of a thing. It's just more of a focus on, you could role play your way through combat in 5e. I've done it before. I've done it. Kinder and I did it at Gen Con one time in a Pathfinder game. We role played our way through a fight in a plane of fire. And just because I played a bard and he went along with it, so it worked out. But then in other games, I've tried to do that in games that are more of the combat is way more tactical, and it's the GMs just look at me like, you're gonna have to fight. You're not gonna diplomacy your way through this or talk your way through it. So yeah, 5e is definitely there for the story. Kiri's bringing up, feats would have to be easier to get. I hate giving up my ASI and end up not taking feats until my import stats are maxed. I agree with you completely. And it would be more like, when you're a wizard and you get these 2 or 3 things automatically at level 3 and these 2 or 3 things automatically at level 7. Instead, it would be, here's a list of like 10 things. Yeah. And because of your build so far, you can choose from 5 of those things. And if your end goal is this, you don't just sit back and wait until you automatically collect them as you level. You have to pick and choose those feats that lead to that, what that end goal ability or power is. Yeah. And then also every so many levels you can boost your wisdom or you can boost your charisma or whatever. You get both worlds. So
and if you had that kind of feat tree thing going on, then the thing that Hal loves in the chat about building a unique character, and Kinder Thulu said that too, but that 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 character background is some of what us old school folks really love. Is that story kind
Mm-hmm.
of trumps rules sometimes, and
Yeah.
so man, you put that all in a melting pot of better background skills
Mm-hmm.
and unique character builds, and then and then customization, and you can make it work.
Yeah.
Minus, and my brain is going, that's Pathfinder, and like, well, but take out like all the super math. So
Yeah, I agree with Kinder there. He and I are cut from the same cloth on that. I want the backstory of the characters to be at the table. Yeah,
ding.
yeah, absolutely. And it's always so weird when I find that the GM or DM that's like never ever touches on your backstory, and it's like sometimes after session, it's like, are you doing that because of my backstory? And they're like, what? Your backstory? And I'm like, yeah, the thing I've sent you 7 times, and I keep bringing up in game, and then even other players are like, hey, this fits with Johnny's character's backstory. But then others before is just like, in a 1 year campaign, 2 months of that was chasing someone's backstory, or something. It's so it's a great thing. Kinder brings up flaws. So something, and I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit, Kinder. In some games, you can do merits and flaws. So your character is base blank, and I make a wizard, you make a wizard, and both of our wizards are the same. But with merits and flaws, it's like you take a flaw that you only have one eye. So you're blind in one eye. That's a flaw. It's worth 3 points, and that makes it harder for like certain perception checks and such. But now you have 3 points to spend on a merit. So the three, you might spend that 3 points on, you have really great hearing, or your movement speed is faster. Some kind of trade off for a merit and a flaw system. That's interesting. Yeah, that was a masquerade thing.
Yeah. Trump's backstory doesn't trump rules, but backstory trumps min maxing 1,000%. I believe that so much.
Yeah.
Like, because you can do so much with backstory. I mean, and sometimes, well, if I just I do this with a lot of characters. I want one of their stats to be really bad. Like, because that's that flaw aspect. Like poor Makrin in Red Dirt D&D, started the game with a wisdom of 8. Now he has a wisdom of 9. I mean, like he's clueless about the world. He just doesn't know how things work.
Like plates of mashed potatoes.
Plates
of mashed potatoes.
And maybe has some willpower issues, but that goes along with kind of, his lack of self-control and why he got in trouble in the Dwarven Holt in the first place. So,
I want to say here what Kinder just said, backstories can add flavor to a story. Here's an intriguing idea. If they were to do a reprinting of 5th edition, the core books, so they do to change some verbiage and stuff here, I think it would be great if instead of saying a backstory is a thing for a player to make for their character and to act on sometimes during the game, if the backstory section was like 5 pages long on the DM side of the book. That was like, have your players write a backstory. If they struggle with it, help them, or even write one, pitch it to them and see if they like it, then you write it up and then have them get familiar with it. But in doing that, then you could have every adventure set with, if one of your characters has a backstory of something relatable, bring them into the story more by having them related to someone distantly in a plot, or they carry a family heirloom that somehow is the thing that unlocks the door that they'll come across in 2 months, or something really like make the backstory a mechanic, not a dice rolling mechanic, not a statted mechanic, a story mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best backstories are written by DM and PC. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For sure. So I know that Ash has done it at Red Dirt D&D.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the chance to do it with my homebrew game, or not homebrew, but with my Pathfinder game that we have. And I've mentioned before that I think I've mentioned before, but two of my players got together and they said, hey, let's have our characters be, connected. And then from that, they had like a little kind of, mini antagonist in their backstory, which became like the medium big bad guy. Like it, because it was so great, I thought, oh man, I can take that, and not only can I connect it with these two guys, but I can connect it with this character and this character and this character. And as those things have been revealed, now the whole party is after this one big bad guy,
Right.
and or medium level bad guy. It's been great. It's so fun when you work together like that. How do you teach that? How do you put that in a book? How do you revise an edition that says, here's, unless it's like a DM's guide to playing or something. So Ravenloft was kind of doing that. Ash and Michael have talked a little bit about the domain building. Yeah. So maybe.
Well, I know I haven't seen it, but I've talked to a couple of GMs for Pathfinder 2, and they put out a GM's guide that doesn't really have. So like the Dungeon Master guide for Dungeons and Dragons is some stats and some rules and some clarifications on rules, et cetera, et cetera. And for Pathfinder, it's world building and incorporating some of the ones that like run super tactical type games are like, that book's useless to me. I wish I could get my $50 back. So maybe that's what D&D needs, is because theirs has a lot of rule stuff in it. Because they separated their books out. They did a Dungeon Master book and a player book.
Right.
Pathfinder put them both together into one, and then made an advanced player's book, and then made a Game Master book. It'd be interesting to see a full-blown, like, not how to do it as far as rules and roles go, but how to, for the DM to also be a role player in the game.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The story is a character in the game. How to make the story a character.
So if there is a 6th edition D&D book that comes, do you think it's going to be tied with a different world? Like, are we going to get 6th edition set in Krynn with Dragonlance? Or do you think it's going to be 6th edition on this continent that's to yet undiscovered or unexpanded?
I don't know if they would. I mean, so my point of view, without trying to theorize, is no, it would be Forgotten Realms because 5th edition has barely touched on the realms. I know they come out with a book recently where you were in the Sword Coast and you were getting shot out across the realms to do things and come back, but there hasn't been a set in the middle of the realms or, type of setting. I'm distracted by the chat now. Yes, Dragonlance. Yes. Kinder, I with you. We're still hoping to get it because Weiss and Hickman are not redoing, but they're putting out more books for Dragonlance. And Wizards said there were going to be like 5 major books coming out this year and 3 new settings, etc. And I think it's coming down to the end of the year, and they've got like 1 left. The Folk with the Kinder Esquimals Dragonlance. Yes, absolutely. No, I don't know if I don't think they would make up their own world because I like that they're leading, they're doing the crossover stuff with Magic, and that brings in more worlds to do. 4th edition showed us what happens with Eberron.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. 4th edition stepped into a new world, and while there was a lot to do with 4th edition, that's as nice as I can say it. I'm sure a completely new, unfamiliar setting didn't help the cause. So, no, I think it would stay Forgotten Realms. I don't know if it would go Dragonlance. I think they're going to keep those little, like, everything else there. I'm surprised 5th edition has been out this long and we don't have Dragonlance yet. That's kind of surprising. But I really feel it's coming.
Maybe, and I mean this in a really nice way, although I'm going to use a word that you used earlier, maybe they don't feel the bloat yet. Maybe they think, we've still got Dragonlance, we've done this Strixhaven thing and this Magic the Gathering thing. Maybe they feel like there's still lots of places 5th edition can go.
Putting on my business hat, if they put out a new set of the core books tomorrow that were the exact same thing, nothing was different, maybe they corrected 1 typo in each book, but the covers were blue, everyone would go out there and buy them. And then if they waited 6 months and did it again, but the covers were yellow, everyone would go out there and buy them. So people are still buying the stuff. No one's like, oh, I'm so... And I don't think anyone's bored with it yet. I just think that the shark jump is there down the line somewhere. How close are they going to get to it? Are they going to pass it even? Are they going to jump the shark one day? You know, and that's the rocky road from the business aspect. Do we wait until we jump the shark and then revitalize it and breathe life into it by making a 6th edition, or do we let 6th edition die as a great thing, not die, but kind of fall off to a newer edition while it's in its prime? It's or still in that prime adjacent area.
In the chat, Hal mentioned the idea of tiers. Only apply that to your source books, as in have a combined DMPC book for like 1 through 5 or whatever, and then the specialized books that can really get in to the nitty gritty. Hal, you know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of like original or basic D&D, where you had the companion, you had the book, the softcover books that were the red book that was basic, and then the blue book that was expert and talked about wilderness adventures, and then companion, which got into you being like a lord and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So that's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all. Yeah. This seems like something that like a small publisher
Wizards of the Coast. They need to hire some of the folks that are in our chat.
That's what I'm about to say. This is something that you could do through a small publisher and just say it's 5e compatible. But I know there are some people who are like, oh, I just wondered if it's officially branded or whatever. I don't know if it would, but it's not a book with rules or stats or anything, so it wouldn't make it like not league official or something. So yeah. So let's get someone fire up a Google Drive and we'll start making this book. All right. So what do we got left here? Is it early or is it late?
Already 8:00. Like holy smokes, boys and girls!
We're having a great talk in the chat.
You guys are awesome.
I heard they were campaign level past 5. Yeah, it's true. It's was it Ash telling us one day that there was a statistic about the levels that campaigns run, or something about league levels that league play goes to, or something? I can't remember if it was them telling us or somewhere I've heard it that or maybe it was a result of a survey that most people don't play past like level 11 in 5e, but
which makes me want to achieve, right? Like let's go all the way.
It's like this Pathfinder 2 campaign I'm in. We just hit 19. We're coming up on the final chapter of the final book of this adventure path, and it's my paladin's heart is just boom, 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 and it's dragon themed, and I'm Oath of the Dragon Paladin, and it's just nerve wracking. So
without spoilers, is it Age of Ashes?
It's Age of Ashes.
Oh my god!
And without spoilers, there's a dragon on the cover of the first book, so it's about
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
The Age of Ashes is brought about by the breath of a dragon, so there's no spoilers. Never been past 10 and Poppy's getting close. Right on. That's cool.
That's very, very cool. Hey, that's a great question.
That's cool. We're going to be there for that.
What's the highest level in any edition that you've reached with a PC, right? Mine is 10. That's the highest level as a PC in any edition, and it was first edition that I've ever reached. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I took a big gap in my playtime for a while, but so Tomb of Annihilation 13 or 14. That seems that should count as like 18 or 19.
We hit 16.
Tomb of Annihilation.
We hit 16 on that. Kinder was my DM for that one. So we did, or at least my druid anyway, did hit 16 on that. I left him in the jungle. It destroyed him. It like mentally broke my druid. Emotionally, mentally, he went dark. And so it was like, I could pull him out and play him in like other league stuff for the next season. And I was like, as we moved on, I was like, nope, I'm leaving him in this jungle. He's going to become the new boogeyman in this jungle. Not as a bad guy, as a villain, but like, some like evil dark force shows up. It's going to be like, oh no, there's this druid here that will get you. So even the boogeyman runs from him. I've played up to 17, starting at 1. I've played to 20, but it was a campaign that like you started at 15. It was just a high end But as far as like the number of, what did Hal say something? No.
Hal said he's pretty sure that the age of Ash is 42.
I got you. I see what you did there.
Nerds, love it.
Yeah.
Northern Okie, or are we Evil Dead ashing? He asks. He asks Hal. So maybe it's not Age of Ashes. Maybe it's Evil Dead Ash.
That Northern Okie.
So your druid, Kinder Thulu says he became a hermit. That's your druid? He just like got broke and just went to the woods and...
Yeah, and his backstory fit in to what Tomb of Annihilation was. He, because I always like to go with the mold, yet break the mold on the whole, right. My parents were murdered and I'm an orphan and all that stuff. And so I've been in a game before where my parents are alive and well, my children were murdered. And that's what I did with this character, but they were resurrected. So our village was raided, and I lost my wife and 2 kids. And I was able to get the kids resurrected. It was too late for my wife. So that happens. I hated myself because I couldn't help them and defend them. So I left and went adventuring and sending back fun stuff. Then you find out that in Tomb of Annihilation, if you've been resurrected, the spoilers, this whole thing slowly starts killing you. Like, resurrections are no longer possible, and if you've been resurrected, you slowly start fading. So now I'm like, oh my god, my kids back home are gonna, and so it was really interesting. Yeah, wasting disease. So yeah, it was really neat how the backstory just kind of accidentally fit into it. I've also done, if we just have a whole backstory episode, I've also broke the mold on, my Pathfinder paladin was convinced his parents were evil necromancers and killed them. And his sister's like on the hunt for him. Yeah, he's a champion of redemption. Because he thinks he may have made a big mistake, and he wants Aomade to help him. So yeah, that was dark. Yeah, see, I told you it went dark. It got dark.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. What I love about now is that he's a hermit out there somewhere who is going to encounter or mentor or be the impetus for a new adventuring group, right? Somewhere in the universe, he's going to be the guy. So,
in fact, Kinder, if you ever run Tomb of Annihilation again, you should have them come across a druid in the jungle before they. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. He's going to run it again. He's going to run it again soon. Yes, you will have to. Yes, have some winky face.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna. So, geez, it's. Is it late? Is it early? We're having fun. Are we having fun? I want to go full Troy Valley here. Are we having fun?
Are we having fun yet? Yes, boys and girls. And HR hasn't been called, so you're doing better. That'll get me in trouble if I
shut up, Brooke. You've said too much. All right, that was our Troy Valley moment. That was our Glass Cannon podcast moment. So I kind of wanted to wrap this up with the final thing here was, and it kind of falls into all this role playing and everything we're talking about. So shut up, Kinder. He's gonna drive over here and yeah. All right, it's okay. Escapism.
Just Kinder, see what you've done. Now the whole chat. It was great until one person says something negative, and now you've unleashed the howl.
Oh.
Johnny Payne, you were going to say something smart and probably about me.
The fun part is everyone knows we're going to be at Uncanny Expo in 2 weeks, so if they we can't pick on anybody too much because they can find us. All right, so escapism versus the real world being brought into your fantasy game, and so interesting. It's not really a hot take; it's more of a hot topic kind of thing. So for me personally, I'm like, oh man, the world is terrible. I'm going to go escape into a game in D&D. I'm going to go escape into a good book. I'm going to go escape into the series that I'm binge watching. But then it's also like there are people who are like, I really like playing my game because they made this character that was reminiscent of like we all work together, and so the bad guy in the campaign was our mean boss. It's like you deal with your mean boss all day, and I get it because in the game you get to beat up your mean boss. In real life you can't, so that's fun
without going to prison.
But it's also like the reminder of like I'm in this fantasy world now, and I can block out the rest of the world for this 3-hour session, and I'm reminded that I have an evil boss. So it's the escapism versus your game mirroring reality. Like Uncanny Expo. Is that Hal doesn't know.
Ah.
It is a convention. Do we have a flyer? Sorry, too soon.
I'll grab it real quick and throw it in the chat. Maybe.
Do we have a flyer ready?
I know we have one that is kind of a thing, but then it doesn't have the official Uncanny Expo. It has a really great simulation of the Uncanny Expo logo. And
if you sent that to me, I know a place I could put it.
I can totally do that.
Right on. Oh, again, the Kinder Thulu to the rescue. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you.
Plausible deniability. That's all that matters.
Plausible deniability. Yeah. And he's put a link to the address he's going to find it. So there's the link, Hal, for Uncanny Expo. Yep. You'll see some of America's favorite... I almost said America's favorite poppy tea leaf, but I guess that's not a lie either.
That's not a lie either. It depends on how much cosplay she's doing.
Artistic skills there. Some fashion skills.
Man, again, if you missed the first part of the chat, I'm so excited about some things that she's done. That, again, fashion show by the Red Dirt D&D crew is a great way to say what's coming. It's great.
Yep.
So excited. Anyway, Uncanny Expo, August 28th. Escapism. Are we going to do any of that at the Uncanny Expo?
No,
I
don't know. I don't think so. That'd be kind of cool. Play a game while we're there.
They're having a tournament. I know that. I saw that in the list. So, woohoo!
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to get in on that then.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that? Okay, now I truly am on a tangent. Wouldn't that be fun? The Red Dirt D&D crew all put their name in a hat and formed a team. On the end,
like for their epic or their special they call it. Yeah, that would be.
It's probably bad form if the podcast people come in and hear in my arrogance, we would be beaten by a bunch of 9-year-olds. That's what would happen.
Well, let's go back to glass cannon mode. Yeah, it'd be totally unfair because we're professionals.
You get paid?
I get paid. You don't get paid?
Donuts, but
okay, moving on. Yes, yeah, right, yeah. Kiri's right. We're not going to play any Red Dirt stuff officially, but it would be fun, like in between the panels that we are doing, to kind of.
Ginger Halfling sounds like she works for the mafia. I have a bag of shirts and a bottle of bleach. Like
it's a clipboard. It's like, yeah, well, no, we're not playing any Red Dirt stuff. We're not. Nope, you can't do this. No, are you running? No running. America's favorite hall monitor. We get too distracted and take too long. Yes.
Distracted. There's no evidence of that.
Oh, Attorney is a speed run too, so there's not a lot of character stuff, on those speed runs. So it would be interesting though. Yeah. So. It's just I don't know if it'd be a big conversation, but the escapism versus keeping it like pure fantasy kind of thing and such. It'd be an interesting topic for another episode one day.
You betcha. That would be I mean, that would be a good one to pull in some chat folks as surprise guests, and get their 2 cents on it.
Who wants to be a surprise guest in a few weeks?
Dun dun dun.
Do we want? We don't want a Kinder on the show. I don't have the bandwidth for that. Yeah.
A Kinder and a Halfling walk into a bar. America's favorite Halfling Kryn's most tentacled Kinder. I don't know which one of those would win. So.
All right. I like that there's a delay and we can say this stuff and then like stare at the chat and wait for the response.
We both started doing that. Where we're just like,
I know.
How does the audience feel? It's the worst part. It's like,
so audience, tell us, what time is it?
It's like we're waiting to see how's the response on that. How'd they take that one? Okay,
they left. They left. Yeah. No. I need to work some of my Studio Lab magic and get the chat up on our screen. So when this moves over to YouTube in a few days, YouTubers who are watching this are like, who the hell are they talking to?
That's true. Then we wouldn't have to do like the, hey, let me be sure and say it for the video people, easy escapism without thinking about encumbrance, ration, small amounts of money for beer, hotel.
Right.
Exactly.
Or frenemies and who you're taking to the prom and all the Strixhaven stuff. I gotta leave Strixhaven alone. It's gonna be great. I'd feel much better about Strixhaven if Wizards was sponsoring us.
Indeed. We would say such good things.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
Amazing things.
We would do live.
So if they decide that you're Rock Jock and Swamp People or whatever it was, if your new names are better than theirs, you gonna let them buy it for me? Your little card name
right there. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I googled Strixhaven art banner so it would fit down here, and this popped up. It's not mine.
Oh.
It's plausible deniability.
It's plausible. I don't know where it came from. I just stole it from the internet.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Nicely done. Don't sue me. Sue them.
So yeah. I have so many great ideas. Not for the ep. I mean, like, I thought it'd be really. This is some stuff that we'll talk about offline behind the scenes. Just one of the people in chat here. If we could do our roundtables, and for those of you who aren't patrons and maybe don't know, when we do our roundtables, it's recapping the last few episodes. I thought about maybe doing a roundtable where we don't recap the last few episodes because it would be spoilers, because we all bring our webcams to the studio, and we do this right here for 45 minutes as a roundtable interact, but we bring in on the Zoom call. Not just in the chat, but then again, it's early on the Sunday morning. Some of us are still like, so.
Oh my gosh. That would be a fantastic idea because originally, like, that's part of one of the things we wanted the behind the scenes to do was to have, live questions and have people come in. The chat is awesome. So
I'm hurting Poppy's brain. Just spitballing here, Kiri.
That's why we have panels at expos, she said.
That's why our show is called Plausible Deniability. I promise you, next week, we're going live with the whole cast. And then we don't even do a show for 2 weeks, and it's just me and Brooke again. Plausible Deniability. It was almost just me tonight.
It was because someone doesn't know how to read a calendar. I was like, well, what? The changing of the uniform at the very opening of the show, that wasn't really much of a skit. Like, that was kind of a real deal.
Yeah. So Kiri's right. We need to go to more expos. There needs to be more of them. I'm going to ReaperCon Labor Day weekend, and I'm scared because it's coming up, and they still haven't released a game schedule yet. They just released the classes. It's done by Reaper Minis. And so they have classes for painting miniatures and stuff, of course, and everything. And they've just now released that schedule. They don't have the game schedule out yet. And I'm getting nervous because it's like, is there the Delta Scare and all that stuff? Gonna maybe put the squash on this or whatever.
Gotcha.
But yeah. So no, I agree. Go into con mode, Johnny. So back in someone's youth, I won't tell you how old either one of us are. Kendra and I could go to a con on Thursday and not sleep until Sunday night. Back in the day.
Back in the days.
Yeah. Oh, well, we already got the link up. I just now saw what you posted to me here privately.
Oh, yep, very good. It's all good.
We got the link up though, so come check it out. You still can. Okay.
Uncanny Expo. So you know what? Someday there's in the chat. Hal also said, the Fantasy Expo and doesn't want to be, or not the fantasy, but the escapism, and doesn't want to be too crunchy. But then Hal responded with, although it can be fun to point out a co-player who's wearing a 5-point harness. That is a hilarious story, and Hal needs to tell it live sometime. That is a fantastic.
We'll have to have Hal on just for that.
It was involving one of my characters, and I lovingly still have not forgiven him for it. That's why it comes up all the time, because of a 5-point harness. Yep.
Yes, we'll have to have all of y'all on. More ideas we have coming up. Just want to kind of do like a preview of what's to come. We still need to find a moment Ash is free.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we talked about this live. I think we talked about this behind the scenes. I don't know if we want to talk about it live and Ash find out. We really want to put them on the spot. Have Ash come on and do that thing, do like a 20-minute thing. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, we'll talk about it offline. We got to have Michael.
Ash should totally do the thing. Nobody tell her that we're going to do the thing.
Yes.
Well, she doesn't even know she's going to do the thing, but that's a fantastic. That they are going to do the thing. They don't even know. It's going to be great.
We got to have Michael on.
Indeed.
So he can talk about all of his editing prowess, his audio, his Foley work he does on all the episodes.
Upcoming in other events.
For those of you who don't know, Ginger Halfling there is our holiday one-shot DM extraordinaire on our live streams that we do around every big holiday. Yeah, Michael is in bed. Michael's a radio host for NPR way early in the morning, and so he goes to bed super early. He has a unique schedule. But yeah, Ginger Halfling is a holiday one-shot DM extraordinaire. Started off with a pre-written one, and then started writing her own. Extraordinary. Yeah. Are you gonna like grammar teacher me on the fact that I said extraordinaire?
Extraordinaire is the correct way.
Am I using? That. Oh, you're just like shying away from the compliment. Take the damn compliment. Halloween episode in October. I'm so ready. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. So an Aasimar cleric Halloween. Do I go goth or De los Diez Muertos with the face, the sugar?
I've got a question. Since tomorrow is Friday the 13th, can we start putting up our holiday decorations early?
It is?
Sorry. Didn't mean to tell you that and spring it on you.
Yes. August is viable. Anytime in August you can start putting up your Halloween decorations.
One-shot Tasselhoff. Yep.
One shot. Oh my God.
Kinder Thulu's going to have something. Release the Kraken.
I have a fun Kinder Thulu Tasselhoff story for you guys. I might tell now while he's still here, get him a little embarrassed. I dragged him to Gen Con one year, and it was the first year he'd been. It was very overwhelming because it's 60,000 people crammed into like a bunch of buildings. And I was like, hey, there's this thing called Hickman Killer Breakfast. It's where this guy who, writes stuff for D&D runs a game, and he pulls you up on a table on stage, and there's like 20 people on the table at a time, and he runs this very casual, slow-moving campaign, but somewhere you die. There's only been like 2 or 3 people in like the 20 years he's been doing this thing live. And most of those people are like special, unique snowflake people that have been part of like the D&D world since its inception. Back like 100 years ago, so we go, and that's all. And I'm not thinking about what's actually happening and who this is. So we get there, we're sitting there, we're cool, and they pull us up, and you can buy tickets to go up on stage. You can buy tickets to be an audience member. We bought tickets to go on stage. We're standing in line, waiting to go backstage, so when people start dying, we can jump up and take their place at the table. Really neat experience. And we get to a part where we're backstage and we can't see the stage and we can't see the audience, but we can still hear everything because he's mic'd. And Tracy Hickman says, I have a special guest here today. Let me go ahead and bring her out. It was Margaret Weiss. And at that moment, it clicks. And I turn and look at Kinder, and I'm like, oh my God, this is Weiss and Hickman. And they did for some reason, and this is the third time I've been to Killer Breakfast. And it just never clicked in my head, this is the Dragonlance dude. Because he's done so much other stuff. But I'm standing with Kinder, and Kinder almost passes out. He, seriously almost passes Smooth out. I had to carry him to the stage.
Oh
maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was just a dumbfounded moment because for as long as I've known this kid, back when we were wee teens, his nickname has been Kinder. Because of gaming and because he's a kleptomaniac and he steals everything. Yeah, he knows all Tasselhoff and everything. And it was just so amazing that it was like, oh hey, this is the two authors that brought this world to life, brought Tasselhoff to life. Carrie left.
I was super pumped whenever Margaret Weiss liked one of my Twitter posts. I thought that was the most incredible thing ever. So to be in proximity to her in real life just must have been amazing.
Oh yeah. Okay, he just got weak kneed, and he doesn't steal. He borrows. He doesn't steal. He doesn't borrow. He just picks it up and moves it somewhere else in the world, and then sets it back down. That's what happened. Weiss and Hickman, they wrote Game of Thrones, right? Yes, Hal, they did. Thank you. Thank you very much, Hal. How do I block people? Where do I? No, because if Weiss and Hickman wrote Game of Thrones would be finished. Yeah. I'm sorry, you triggered me with Game of Thrones. And Rain will be leaving things behind, yes.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are a blast.
It has been so much. Look, it happened again. It went from 8:05 to 8:23 like that.
Stop blinking.
It's amazing. It's awesome. So many icons from Hal.
I know. It's great.
This has been my escapism. I have really enjoyed being able to hang out with everybody tonight. That's just fantastic.
And this is the part where I remind you have to go to school and teach tomorrow. And I destroy that escapism. Are you guys up and running?
I got to go back? It just wasn't the one day?
Yeah, so you went for 12 years and graduated, and then went for 2 years and graduated, and then went for 4 more years and graduated, and then now you're stuck there. You won the award.
Graduated.
You won the award. What?
And haven't graduated. They haven't let me leave again. The good news is they do pay me to be there. I mean, sort of. But,
right.
All
right. Anybody in the chat got anything? They absolutely, positively. Yay, subscriber!
Yay, subscriber!
Thanks, Hal.
Thank you, Hal. Ding, ding, love. Oh, that's fantastic.
I will send you the T-shirt that Kiri made us after I wear it all day at the convention as your prize for subscribing. And I said it just like that.
Now, great. Now he's looking for the unsubscribe.
It's how do I unsubscribe?
Yay, tier 1! Woohoo! Oh, that's fantastic.
It is so fun dual monitoring this and looking over from one screen to the next.
We're just laughing.
We're so out of sync. It's like we're laughing at each other or at ourselves. Thanks, I guess. Yeah, no, you're unsubscribe.
I'm pretty sure on the chat that we look opposite ways. It'd be even better if we looked at each other on the broadcast.
Okay, let's just randomly go here. On 3, look to your left. 1, 2, 3. Okay, both our left is that way. Because sometimes I have my camera mirror and flip. And so left is the other way. And so I feel like I'm looking... And whenever we do a live stream, with one of Kiri's holiday one-shots, I will try really hard to figure out where everyone is so I can go and react to them.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't want to sit here and do this like I'm talking to Gideon, I'm talking to Michael, and then I realize I'm the bottom left corner and there's no one down there, and I just look like I'm talking to the ground. Yeah.
Who you're talking to, it doesn't matter.
The crazy things we do.
Kinder Thulu could probably help Hal out. Hal's like, thanks, I guess, but
Yeah. No, I'm not going to send you a sweaty T-shirt.
Plausible deniability.
I'm not going to send you a sweaty T-shirt. I'm not going to send you a sweaty T-shirt. I like how my rock star is like. There we go.
Woo!
It's incognito.
It's incognito.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go. We didn't talk about drinks tonight, mostly because I have failed to acquire any sarsaparilla yet. But I went old school nerdage with my Mountain Dew. So
I thought about it this morning. We do have to do the ginger stuff.
I know
The ginger wine tasting. You and I will have to figure that out. So and we'll let y'all know too. We'll let you know in the Discord and such. We're gonna do a ginger beer tasting.
Yeah, for sure.
Ginger ale. Ginger ale. Sounds weird when you say it that way.
I don't know. It says ginger beer, but it's not alcoholic.
Right? Yeah.
It's not. So because I guess ginger is a root.
So do you just crack it open and take a drink and then swallow it and say that was good, or do you swirl it around and the bouquet and put it in your mouth and swish it around and then spit it into a bucket and then breathe it? Is this like a fancy wine? Do we need a sommelier to come in and?
Why would we need a sleep specialist?
That's what? A sleep
sommelier, slumberer. What?
I don't know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I actually know somebody who is a certified that word for fancy wine taster.
Yeah, I know one too. Yeah.
I wonder if they would come and teach us how to do that
with ginger.
Only it would be with
non-alcoholic ginger beer.
With non-alcoholic beverages.
Or sticking with the theme, Brooke, you'll get this with kombucha. Yes.
Nice.
How do I drink this glass of bacteria? I should do this all night. My hair looks really good in this light. This is how I'm doing the rest of the show.
It does. It looks awesome from that angle.
What is happening in 2 weeks? I feel like there's something big happening. Is it a holiday? Because I'm going to ReaperCon, and that is on a Thursday.
Yeah.
But it's not next week. It's not the next episode in 2 weeks. So
no,
we're good.
We have a busy weekend, August 28th, because we have Uncanny Expo, and then we're doing some recording the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of all that I have on my radar, although there hopefully some other stuff coming. So in the chat, I'm sorry, we got delayed. We now need the Zoom box, right? With here's the story of a Red Dirt gamer. Yep.
We gotta do this.
That's Hal and Kinder Thulu. See, I feel like those two guys, because Kinder Thulu knows you and Hal knows me, I feel like it'd be very dangerous to get those two guys together because it would be fantastic.
The four of us should go out for kombucha some night. some brisk Saturday afternoon. Never. I'm hanging up. All right, Brooke.
Till the one day that Kinder met that Hal guy.
We're getting full lyrics here.
Oh my gosh!
Till the one day when that Kinder met that Hal guy.
You have got to check out it live where you can see the chat. It's cracking me up. Anyway, oh my goodness. If they're playing the theme song music, I guess we got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. I kind of waiting to see how far I think it's done. And they knew it was much more than a bunch. Okay, he's going to finish this. Finish this, Hal.
So here's the story of a Red Dirt gamer who is bringing up 3 wizards of his own till the one day that Kinder met that Hal guy, Kinder Thulu and Hal 22. And they knew that it was much more than a hunch. And it's going to end, of course, with
that this
the
group
Red Dirt Bunch
must one day form an adventuring party. And the anticipation of waiting for them to finish this is the delay that's also happening.
It's nothing but a party full of bards. That's what it is every time. So.
Wow. I have not seduced anybody in the chat, so I'm not the bard. It's
Nope. We had that discussion in a round table.
Yeah.
One of us kind of is now. I mean...
What?
Because he's the rogue who took that warlock dip and...
I dipped in a warlock and cast spells now. I'm done with y'all. Bye.
A paladin joined the party. He's like, I'm out.
All right, Brooke and I have some behind-the-scenes work that we have to take care of that you can check out when you tune into episode. What's it going to be for?
Woohoo!
What'll it be for, Brooke?
Are we back on the 26th?
We are back on the 26th.
Back on the 26th.
And me.
Woo-hoo.
How much did that bother you and me?
I am good with it.
Okay. Are you well with it?
No, just not evil.
Do you want me to use fewer bad grammar words or lesser bad grammar words? Okay, so we are on episode 57. Is it 58 that we're hitting? That you and I are doing?
Now 58 is coming out this weekend, episode 58.
So that's us.
That's us.
So listen to episode 58 in the middle and know that whatever we do, it's for y'all.
And it's happening. We're recording it right after this.
Right after this.
Listen to it next week.
Yep.
And then on August 26th, we'll be back with more Plausible Deniability. Somewhere in the future is Ash doing something amazing.
They don't even know it yet.
Michael Cross, we're going to hear from the special effects master himself.
Extraordinaire.
And there are a couple of things on your list that we didn't get to tonight that are going to show back up, I imagine.
We will. They're not time sensitive. We can bring them up and talk about them too. And then one day, I'm not even going to say it. I want it to be a surprise.
One day.
But it starts with a K or a C.
In Kansas.
We're going to have a Cobalt uprising on Plausible Deniability. We'll have to have Connor on for sure.
It's Connor.
Yep.
Connor with a C talking about Connor with a K.
All right. August 26th.
August 26th, boys and girls.
That's it.
See you then.
I'm clicking the stop streaming button in 3, 2, 1. There's a delay. Let's see how long they figure it out. Because it's delayed. Did I click it? And the click delayed?
I'm smiling.
Or did it not? Did it not click and it's not delayed?